What's up, YouTube? Brad Hoover from Rants here. Indiana Jones 5's Harrison Ford to pass the fedora to Phoebe Waller-Bridge. How shocking. How utterly shocking this must be to a lot of fans. Unless, of course you're, Star Wars fan or a fan of really any male-centric franchise of, the past 20 years, just for them to go in there and completely and take the characters that you know and you love and just either gender swap them or something along those lines, because that's the trend of the 21st century. That is bold now. It's bold. It's so bold it's almost becoming generic. It's becoming less shocking. It's becoming more expected than anything. So, you know what? I feel bad for Harrison Ford. Indiana Jones is probably going to go out the exact same way that his character Solo went out in Star Wars, in a really excruciatingly embarrassing way. That's going to be sad for this character. They've got to do that. They've got to do that because that would be the only way that fans would not call for Harrison Ford to return to the role in some form or fashion. They have to kill him off in some egregious way to give them a reason to place her at the head of it. I personally think this is just another version of Tomb Raider at that point. I mean, you replace her, you have a female archaeologist that goes in there and, basically kicks butt and goes out there and, saves these artifacts from the clutches of evil people. That's Tomb Raider. That's Tomb Raider. Is that what Indiana Jones wants to be? Does it want to be a clone of Tomb Raider? Because last I checked, Tomb Raider didn't exactly do too great in the box office. Maybe that's what Kathleen Kennedy thinks will be a grand spectacle. I think at this point, Kathleen Kennedy is basically, she's got a list, and she's like, before I pass from this earth, I want to piss off every single fan of every single famous genre and franchise out there. She's very successful at doing that. Very, very successful at doing that. So, hey, you know what? That's another one you can just write off your list right here. All right, so let's go ahead and let's read into this article, even though I probably already know what it's going to be talking about. Rumor has it Harrison Ford will pass his fedora to the Indiana Jones 5 co-star Phoebe Waller-Bridge. The Daily Mail reported that Waller-Bridge is tipped to replace Ford as the Indiana Jones franchise lead after the fifth movie hits theaters. So much for Shia LaBeouf, I guess. According to the outlet's insider sources, this is one of the big, bold changes Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy wants to make to the property after Ford concludes his run as the famous bullwhip-cracking archaeologist in the film to keep it going strong moving forward. The big, bold change. This happens so often. This, in almost anything that Kathleen Kennedy touches. How is this big or bold? This is just going to it's going to be big in the fact that it's going to cause controversy and cause people not to want to go see any more Indiana Jones films. That's going to be big. It's going to, my struggle here is finding the bold part of it. The bold part, it's not, this isn't 1990 anymore. I think in their minds that they think, oh wait, most all of these franchises have male leads, so we've got to do something big and bold, something that no one's ever seen before in 2021. We've got to change these protagonists into females. I hate to tell you this, but 2015 is calling. We've been doing this for like 20 years now. So there's nothing big or bold when it comes to that, or at least nothing bold. when it comes to that. You're not making a statement. You're just pissing off fans at this point. That's really just what it comes down to. Nobody wants politics in their franchise. No one. Whether you're on the left or the right, it doesn't really matter. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that these films will absolutely and totally suck with a female lead. They might not. They really might not. But with Kathleen Kennedy in charge, even if you had Harrison Ford at it, it's going to suck. Just is. Everything she touches turns to crap. As a Star Wars fan, I know that personally. So, no, this franchise, literally, with her in charge, has no hope. No hope whatsoever. It was doomed even before this, which is sad in itself. But I'm just trying to figure out exactly how they are going to separate themselves from, let's say, Tomb Raider. I don't see how that's really even a possibility. I think even when you give the description of it, it sounds like Lara Croft. It literally sounds like Lara Croft. Except Lara Croft is an interesting character, at least in the video game she is, where, with a really cool backstory, Indiana Jones just giving her the, I don't know, mantle of Indiana Jones for some whatever reason. However, I don't know how they're even going to phrase it at this point. I don't see how that's necessarily going to flow with fans. I just feel like they're going to have to kill him off in some form or fashion, which is going to be sad in itself. But yeah, I don't know. I won't go so far as say that this is sad or shocking by any stretch of the imagination. It doesn't really even piss me off anymore. I've actually come to expect this. And what does that say about Hollywood when the most generic thing can happen and it can be done for political reasons, and you're like, saw that coming. Saw that coming from miles and miles away. So I just feel bad for Indiana Jones fans. And look, I like the movies. I'm not going to go so far as say that I'm a gigantic Indiana Jones fan. And if I was, I'd probably be pissed about this. I really would. Um, but only because I've seen what it did to Star Wars. Like I said, it's never about changing it to a female lead. It's about what that usually encompasses. Whenever you have a female lead, she's in today's Hollywood, she is always the typical Mary Sue character. She is the character that just basically is great at everything, almost kind of like in the new Hawkeye series. Who is it? Kate. She comes in there and she's like, "Oh, I don't really need you, Hawkeye, to teach me anything. I'm kind of great at all this to begin with." That's unfortunately where female protagonists go in that regard, and that's really sad because it really shouldn't make a difference if it's male or female. It really shouldn't, and it shouldn't even be cringeworthy to a certain extent when you even think about it. But first thing that comes in people's mind is, the whole Rey Skywalker thing, and just how cringeworthy that actually was. And you know what? If Kathleen Kennedy can give her an interesting backstory, make her a desirable character, not great at everything. Let her build her way up to it, and go from there. And maybe they'll have a gem. Maybe they will, but like I said, all I see when I hear of this is Tomb Raider, and I'm not really that excited about that. Anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching, and y'all take care.